what's your name?
EDWIN de la CRUZ.
What district are you running for?
I'm running for district number 10.
And tell me, what does a city councilman do?
Okay, a city councilman has multiple jobs. We are responsible, as a councilman, I'm responsible for creating new laws, basically creating new laws for my community, also working with the mayor, working with the local community leaders as well to make sure that things are going well, that are running well. I mean, I'm a liaison between all the institutions that are public institutions, such as HPD, the Department of Transportation, and the people. So if one of my constituents have a problem with HPD, they can approach me, and I'll be able to somewhat communicate with HPD, which is a very complicated, very complex organization, and I'll be able to give them assistance.
So I think that it's very important to have balance, and I think it's great that you're a Republican running. I, though, was confused, to be honest, as I looked through your website, because you have some policies that some could say are socialist-leaning. Now, personally, I also am a conservative Republican, but I do believe that there should be social programs. It just shouldn't, but they should be to help you get on your feet, not to
Correct.
Make you dependent.
Correct.
I think that one of the things that kept me from becoming a Republican or being in touch with my conservative values when I voted was because I had this misconception that Republicans didn't care about people. They didn't want to help, do social programs. They want to cut everything,
That's not true.
So will you speak on that?
That is not true, absolutely. I'm running as a Republican, moderate Republican. I believe that government main objective is to solve problem. We are problem-solving institutions. We are supposed to be there to create new opportunities for our constituents. We are there to solve problems. We are not there to manage problems. We are not there to put a Band-Aid on a situation. We are there to basically roll up our sleeves and solve problems. It might sound socialist, they're really not. They're just common sense, intelligent solutions to very difficult problems. The people that are in power right now, they see that as being very difficult. So they're not really interested. Homelessness is one of them. Homelessness is a situation that has been managed, not solved for a very long time because it's very profitable.
Right. I also find, if I could interrupt for a quick minute, because I would like to get your take on this. I find that when I hear a lot of politicians or even a lot of nonprofit social programs, which make a lot of money off these things. A lot of nonprofits are making a lot of profit.
Oh my God, yes.
That they put homelessness as a blanket. And there's different levels of it. There's the person or the family who got behind on their bills and just needs a place to stay and help till they get on their feet. There's the person who has serious psychological problems and needs help, and no matter whether or not you put them in an apartment, they're still going to go outside of it and pee on the street.
Yes.
Because they are mentally ill. And then there's the in-between ground, between there, the people who fall in between those two. Can I get your opinion on those three categories I just stated?
Well, those three categories are tremendous challenges. One big segment right now.
And you believe they exist, though, right?
Of course
because
they
it seems
do.
as if they. Do you agree also? Sorry to jump around, but that a lot of the politicians, they just put a blanket like it's one issue.
Oh no, it's definitely a lot of ignorance. Yes, they do not take it serious. They don't care because they have. It's very sad what's going on. It's just it's a profitable enterprise out of making money out of people's misery. And what I want to do as a councilman is actually I want to tackle the problem. There's a shelter on 168th Street, right in front of a Columbia Presbyterian Hospital, which is people are afraid of even sleeping there because they're gonna. As an advocate for to reduce homelessness, I have a very interesting solution, and one of them is to simply break down by segment, like you just did right now. And one of the interesting segments that definitely will be priority will be getting families, people that have families, and veterans also, that are working people just like you and I. they work, they have money. Some of them even have a bank account. They do very well. They cannot find an apartment because those apartments, they have actually been evicted before. They, red line when it comes down to application, they don't qualify because they are considered to be high risk. Doesn't do anything else. Rentals. Solution, number one. I would definitely introduce a bill in the city council where New York City and the state of New York will become a co-signer. As a co-signer, New York would back up, would support that resident. Once they have a lease, once the lease is signed with the landlord, we're going to be 100% behind the resident. That resident is going to pay his rent. He's going to have his own private house, his bathroom, everything, his own key. He's going to have a chance to start his, again in life, okay? My next point is you see that having that person with no subsidies. I mean, we can give them, of course, food stamps. We want to make sure that person gets back on their feet. But we don't want to carry them for the rest of their life because that's really wrong, okay? That's weak. That's making people vulnerable. That's making people zombies of society. I mean, this is destroying New York City, especially people of color. Handouts are really bad for you. I really believe that they should go to school. They should train themselves. They should, try to use their own incentives to move forward and take life by the horn and do something about it.
I love your ideas. I want to ask you before we wrap it up, talk to the audience. Tell us why they should vote for you for councilman for District 10.
Both for me because I'm just simply...
And tell people the area it is because, I only in the past 2 years really started to pay attention to my city council area, to my community board. I didn't even know what they were, who they were, where I was. District 10. Where does District 10 cover?
Okay, District 10 starts on 160th Street, roughly around there, and then goes up to Marble Hill.
On the west side?
Marble Hill, yes. All the way up from 160 on the west side, and then goes up to Marble Hill in the Bronx. I want to stop that. Because I'm 100% behind working with the police, having the police return to the community, have them talk to each other, okay? I don't believe that defunding the police is a good idea. I do believe that reforming the police is a good idea. Now a motive. I also believe with NYCHA, profit is not a motive. Unfortunately, NYCHA is so badly run. If you want to fix a system, you want to get people like myself in there. Because people like myself...
I was just going to say, as city councilman, what would you do to help the people? And I see that you say you're going to rallies, so you're going to support them. You're there in person. You're not just talking about things. You're a man of action. Showing up and talking to the people.
You need to hire the right people to run NYCHA. And you have to look at the whole system.
So being city councilman would give you that authority?
Of course. You need to hire the right people. You need to investigate the situation. I would love to fix HPD. HPD is a completely broken animal. Steve's FC transfer. What happened?
What is HPD for people who don't know?
Okay, HPD is the Housing Development Preservation. Okay, they are the ones who actually oversee housing in the city of New York, especially.
And they deal with the city council.
Thank you. The city council is in charge of HPD, because I can definitely make people accountable because HPD should definitely be broken apart and it should be started all over again. Okay, and one way to do that is by getting people that are qualified and abolishing a lot of laws that are designed for corruption. These are laws that are actually there for corruption. I mean, to allow corruption to happen. The third party is one of them. It's crazy. And this is all criminal. And if I go to the AG, nobody's going to listen. If I go to the DA's office, nobody's going to listen either. How do you challenge situations like that? You need to have councilmen. By the way,
thank you so much for joining us, Edwin. We wish you the best. I'm not in your district, so I don't think I could vote for you. But if you are in District 10, vote for Edwin.
This is my website. You can volunteer. You're free to volunteer. You're free to support me. If you do have friends who are voters, by the way, in District 10, give them a call. It really means a lot to me. Just give them a call. Make sure that they go out and they vote for me, Edwin de la Cruz. And also, there's a bunch of Republicans that are running that are wonderful people also. Debbie is running for public advocate. We have Thomas Kenneth, which happens to be a veteran, a U.S. veteran. Highly decorated, very high integrity individual. He wants to be the DA, the Manhattan DA. Those are the people that we want. We don't want people that are politicians. We want people that are seriously concerned about our city, and people that also want to make a point. We want to prove a point. I would love to have a two-party system work in Manhattan, okay? Because that way I will have competition. They will have competition. That'll give a choice to the voters. Which one will be better? But right now, there's no choice. North Korea doesn't have a choice. China doesn't have a choice either, okay? The Soviet Union doesn't have a choice either because it's all one political party. Democracy does not work that way. You have to support smaller parties. It can be independent, it can be liberals, it can be the conservative, it can be the Republican, but you have to support a balance of power. Right now, that doesn't exist.
And I think, too, that why do you think a Democrat should vote for a Republican? And why do you think that, and do you think that Democrats should switch to Republican? Especially in the Latino community.
Well, you know, you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised how many Republicans are uptown. Hispanics are Republican by nature. We are business people. We love to work. We like to have money in our pocket. We don't like handouts. We are people who are coming over here as immigrants, moving forward, and those are Republican values. And now, am I forcing one concept? No, I believe just like the vaccine mandate. Okay, I think that's definitely going to be, that's going to end up in the Supreme Court and being labeled as unconstitutional. Okay, because I believe that the government should have limited influence in somebody's life. Okay, you should not be told what to do by the government. It's your body, it's your decisions, your mindset. I should not be forcing people to become Democrat or Republican. Let my example, as a district leader, as a community leader, as a politician, have them change it. My example and my good work should be enough for them to say, I'm going to switch. But I should not be forcing people to switch or asking them what to do or none of that. I believe that Hispanics are really, most of them, the majority, are actually Republican by nature. The problem with the Republican
I agree with you.
Yeah, the problem with the Republican Party in New York is a dysfunctional system. Unfortunately, it doesn't exist. It's a big hustle. It's like a big dysfunctional program that doesn't exist, and they don't invest in our neighborhood. And therefore, you have all those people waiting for a Republican to come in one day so they can join, because they don't even know how to change their affiliation from Democrat to Republican.
I think so too, and I think also I know for myself and some of the Latinos that I know who I've spoken to that there was this stereotype that Republican doesn't like I was saying earlier, Republican doesn't care about people, Republicans are racist.
Yes. When you have a liberal in an argument with a Republican and the Republican's winning, what do? It's an easy way to end the conversation. You are racist. And that's the end of it. You are a homophobic, you hate women, you hate this, but they're losing the argument. And when you talk about racism now the conversation is over, because now it goes out of the norm, and you become now, you become a member of the Ku Klux Klan, you become one of those radical individuals, which is not true, by the way. Okay?
And when is the election?
November 2nd. Early election begins on the 23rd.
And when they look at the ballot, how do they know it's you?
Because de la Cruz.
Together. There's one question that I didn't ask you that I wanted to ask you, one of the most important questions of Melting Pot, which is, when you hear the phrase, united we stand, divided we fall, what does that mean to you?
We need to stand together as a society. And that's basically, I believe that we all should be held united as a group. We should not be divided as a group, because it is common sense. You will fall if you are divided. If you are together, it is what has made the United States of America so great.
God bless America.
Amen.
What's your favorite cooking spice?
I like cinnamon.
I work with TFKTWA, training foster kids to work with animals. Our dual mission is to prepare foster kids for adulthood and help animals at the same time. These kids soon will be getting their first apartment on their own. What cooking advice would you give them?
My advice would be to eat healthy, take care of yourself, take as many cooking classes as you can, open your horizon by examining so many cuisines all over the world. My favorite happens to be the Caribbean, but also the Mediterranean diet. It's very healthy. Just eat healthy because who you are as a person is actually is determined by what you eat.
Hey! Hey!